32, 42, wait, Carson, back to pass. He's looking, he's pump faking, he's going long. Touchdown! Nelson Aguilar! Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? Are you ready for this too? Yo, 32, wait, Carson, back to pass. He's looking. Now he's moving. Now he's making a move. He's making a move. Now he's running first down. Are you ready for that? That's going to be an interesting question. What can Carson Wentz do this week versus the Colts? 15th pick in the NFL draft.
Hey, make us lunch. We're hungry.
What am I doing? King Dingbat here. So the Eagles have been busy today with a few minor moves, some things going on. And before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I want to talk about some of the things going on. First thing, the Eagles have activated Josh Adams up from the practice squad onto the active roster because it looks like Jay Ajayi will miss this week's game with a bad back. So that stinks that Jay Ajayi is going to miss this game, but Josh Adams is going to get his chance. Now, to make room for Josh Adams, the Eagles cut... I didn't want them to cut this guy, but they cut DeAndre Carter. Now, I really liked DeAndre Carter during preseason. I thought he had potential. Our wide receiving core is really, really, really thin. We only have 3 healthy guys on the roster right now. So it's really, really thin at wide receiver, but they cut him to make room for Josh Adams. And as many of you probably already know, the Eagles brought in Jordan Matthews today for a visit, for a workout. And it remains to be seen whether or not they're going to sign him or not. But he was in for a workout, so we got to keep our eye on it. Now, I think if they do sign Jordan Matthews, I'm okay with it because he knows the offense. He's comfortable and friends with Carson. And he could come right in and help us on Sunday right away, which we need. But at the same time, I still think we have to make another move at wide receiver. We can't just rely on that one move. It would have to be another move. So keep your eyes out. Something's going to happen. Couple things are going to happen possibly this week at the wide receiver position. But if they do sign Jordan Matthews, don't for a second think that's the only move they're going to make at wide receiver. So as many of you know by now, Carson Wentz will start this week versus the Colts. I can't wait. I'm super excited because my boy is back. I love that guy. Now, a lot of people don't like us calling him the sheriff. People say, don't call him that's Peyton Manning, even though Peyton Manning's retired. So what I'm going to say is, I want to know, what nickname should we give Carson Wentz? Anybody got ideas on what we should call him? Put it in the comment section. Let's find the best one and let's start using it. Now, Carson's coming back. He hasn't played since they beat the Rams. They kicked their butt, they double walked their ass. Carson was amazing. He was pretty much, in my opinion, would have clinched the MVP that game. It was a clutch performance, big time performance from Carson Wentz. But that was his last game versus the Rams last December. So now he's coming back after a long layoff. What can we expect from him versus the Colts? Now, I don't think he's going to come out and throw 4 or 5 touchdowns, throw for 300 yards. I don't think it's going to be that kind of game. If it is, it's only because this kid's amazing. You know what I mean? Because this kid is amazing. But I think we're more likely to see Carson come out, maybe, overthrow, a little inaccurate, miss some throws here or there, maybe take a sack he shouldn't take because he's holding the ball too long because it's just, he's trying to get adjusted back to the speed of the game. I see mistakes. I see maybe not a lot of scoring early on. And then you have a lot of problems at wide receiver right now. That doesn't help him either. I think he struggles. He's a little rusty early. But I think by the 3rd, 4th quarter, he starts to come on. He does enough for us to win. And then he gets through the game shaking off some of the rust. Now, the big thing for him is going to be when he takes that first shot. When he takes the first shot, how he reacts to it. A lot of times guys take the shot, they feel better, they get into the game, and that's it. They don't really think about the injury anymore. So we'll hope that Carson Wentz is going to be like that. I mean, I know personally, I know that Carson will be mentally tough enough, will be mentally ready to handle whatever is thrown at his way versus the Colts, especially recovering from the injury. So I expect him to be okay. I think he'll be a little rusty early on. I think he'll be better later on, and he will win the game. Then the next week versus Tennessee, he'll be a little bit better. And then by the time we play Minnesota, he should be pretty good. He should be a lot more like the Carson we know and love. But I expect him to come out a little bit slow and a little bit rusty. Gonna have to get his timing. Plus, he's working with a lot of new receivers, especially if Alshon Jeffrey don't play, which I don't think he's going to. So, it'll be interesting. But what do you guys think? How do you think Carson Wentz is going to do? What do you think his stat line is? I'm going to say Carson throws 2 touchdowns for about 270 yards, and most of it's going to come in the third and fourth quarter. So let me know what you guys think. I'm curious to hear. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.